I would like to address my distinguished respected to the Professor Dr. Muhammad Nur Manuti, my guru, my teacher, and also not to forget Professor Emeritus Dr. Osman Bakar, and all the respectful guests and brothers and sisters. We are catching time. I can understand. The organizer remind me, please, if less 10 minutes is okay, then I said, less than 5 minutes, okay. All right, this is the topics, Asians as a civilizations, force in the changing world. What I'm going to share with you, I try to make it short. What the civilizations means. The civilization means it's about human society that has developed materials, spiritual resources, and a very complex of cultural, political, and legal organization. And Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim, our Prime Minister, have focused and addressed not recently, from the day he managed to reform the movements of Malaysians. That is what he called Madani. That is the concept of Madani. So the understanding of the concept of Madani and philosophy and the ideas that he carried is not a dream to the Malaysians now. Brothers and sisters, Prof. Osman Bakar again reminds us about the terminology used by Islamic scholar that shows the meaning of definitions of civilization, which are Al-Madaniyah, Al-Umrah, Al-Hadarah, Al-Tamadun. That is Madani. That is Madani. And now our beloved Prime Minister, and we've seen that today, the federal institutions, Constitution also takes this responsibility to the spirit of Madinah Charter as a document based on mutual consent on social contract, agreed upon by three major ethnic groups, namely by Malays, Chinese, and Indian. That is Madani. And perhaps, brothers and sisters, these new concepts, we are really hope that can engage to all nations and help to the New World Order, where the New World Order ahead of this aims to establish a global system which is based on peace, justice, and cooperation. It advocates for principles such as freedom, equality, unity among nations. The goal is only to create an equitable, sustainable, and prosperous global society. These are the aims. These are the new world ahead. But we are watching the two giants of the world countries. There is China, it's a developing countries, and also one is United States, the Uncle Sam states, is a developed countries. And these have been create a new world order and its impact on existing global economic governance. The Asian century is a bitter reality, and it is undermining other economic power in this world order. A diminishing influence of the institution of Washington's consensus give room for another economic actor to open wings in the competitive world. The reversionist economics power is balancing out the sole dominancy of the US in economic affairs by the inclusions of regional states under its shadow and challenging the existing global economic order. And this is 21st century, brothers and sisters. This 21st century characterized as the Asian century due to the continent's rapid economic growth and influence, particularly China and India. They are shaping global economic governance institutions. So brothers and sisters, the shift challenges the traditional Western-oriented global economic structures and policy that comes with divided by these two, US and China. The existing global economic governance, the key institutions that we familiar with this, United Nations, UN, International Monetary Funds, IMF, World Bank, World Trade Organization, WTO, and regional look like EU and Asians. And this has been established after maps of the world too, that involve all the collaboration of government and international organizations to manage economic policy. I try to speak, brothers and sisters. And these two have been the key global economic governance. US governance, they have Washington Consensus, WTO and global governance, while the developing markets have China economic governance, that is Beijing Consensus, that births the BRICS. And the US economic governance model is based on free market capitalism and open market principles. It promotes innovation, economic efficiency and free trade, and aims to ensure stable global economic environment, but it fails. This is Washington Consensus. That refers to a set of economic policy prescriptions for developing countries. But when it arises, the China Consensus, the Beijing Consensus, it starts the pitfalls of Washington Consensus. All right, brothers and sisters, these are the difference. These are the difference. Even Washington Consensus was set up of 10 economic policy that was developed in 1980s in response to Latin America debt. Even Washington Consensus emphasized the need for fiscal discipline, liberalization of market and strengthening of the rules of law. However, it has been criticized. And it comes alternative options. That is the China-Beijing Consensus. Become another policy proposal, focusing on state-led government, economic growth and gradual liberalization of markets. The Beijing Consensus is knowledge for helping advance Asia in a global leadership position in 21st century. But we have Islamic civilizations. This is the facts, brothers and sisters. Even though the Asian century emerged, becomes global players in various industries such as China, Alibaba, in Indian Reliance industry, even we are focusing on technology such as mobile and digital payments, infrastructure development and regional cooperation in Asia. This is the rapid economic growth in industry and technology that many experts have predicted that Asian could become the dominant economic geopolitical force in 21st century. All right, this is the raising of the Beijing consensus. The term is contrast to the Western style, neoliberal models of development with more state-centric and authoritarian model pursued in China. And this became another alternative to Washington consensus and was credited for its capability to help millions of people of poverty. Okay, brothers and sisters, I move fast. These challenges of Beijing consensus challenge U.S. economic governance. The rise of Asians' economic challenge the economic design of West-centric global economic governance structure, long rooted since 1945. The example, Asian economy has challenged the West-centric economy of the Bretton Woods system, including the IMF, World Bank. They have been strengthening Western economy. The making of Shanghai Cooperation Organization, SCO, and Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, AIIB, are thought to be replacement for IMF for developing and third world countries. And this continue. The new institutions like SCO and AIIB provide alternative traditional Western dominated institutions. And this is the now is a time for Beijing versus Washington's. The rise of India along with China in the Asian region as contenders also challenge the existing economic structure. Both questions the Eurocentrism of every aspect, what is economic power or decision-making ability. The rise of Eastern Europe along with the Central Asia region, for example, cooperation between Beijing and Russia with Moscow support, this potential geopolitical shift can challenge and replace the existing economic governance structures. So these are the impact of Asian century on global economic governance. The Asian countries are gaining increased influence in international trade and economic policy. For example, China and India become major players in WTO, World Trade Organizations, while other countries like Malaysia, South Korea, Thailand, Singapore, Vietnam, and Indonesia have also become more and more active in international trade. New regional economic organizations are emerging, promoting regional integration and cooperation. Example, ASEAN, Association of Southeast Asian Nations, and the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, SSO. These organizations have allowed for increased economic integration within Asia and other world. The global economic landscape is becoming more multipolar with significant contribution for existing of the Asian century. It is proven through creation of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation APEC Forum and establishment of Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, RCEP. And my conclusions will end with the global economic order is shifting from an unipolar to a multipolar structure. The Asian region is playing a crucial role in shaping global economic governance. New institutions are emerging, focusing on suitable and inclusive economic growth. And the competition of economic power squeezes the world today, and we need to come out by raising the value of togetherness or mutually recognizing the sovereignty of the country and uphold human being karamah insania. This is Madani, big idea to the world. Thank you very much for standing with me, and salam Madani. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.